A press conference held by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem ground to a halt when a senator was kicked out. Take a look.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary.
California Democratic Senator Alex Padilla there first spoke out while Noem was describing the so-called burdensome leadership in the state. To talk about this, CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small joins us now from Capitol Hill. Taurean, thank you for being with us. The senator spoke briefly in L.A. after the press conference. Here's a bit of that sound.
If this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers out in the Los Angeles community.
So, Taurean, what reaction are you hearing from lawmakers about all of this?
Well, Nancy, we heard not just from the Trump administration, but from Republicans that their take on the video that we watched there was that Padilla acted inappropriately. Speaker Mike Johnson coming out saying that it's inappropriate for a senator or any lawmaker to charge at a Trump official. And he says he believes this rises to the level that would warrant a censure. Of course, he has no control over what happens on the other side of the Capitol. That's clearly in line with what Leader Thune would have to do. But Republicans are behind President Trump or the Trump administration on this. Democrats, however, are none too happy with what they saw. We saw members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus look to approach Speaker Johnson outside of his chambers. They were unsuccessful in that attempt as he went around the side to avoid them. But they spoke with the press saying that they believe that this is clearly crossing the line here, and that Senator Padilla was handled woefully inappropriately by law enforcement agency there, and they believe that it's time that Republicans also see this for what it is, their words.
Very public scene at all that. Taurean, I also want to shift gears now to the president's budget bill. It's making its way through the Senate. Where do things stand when it comes to the president getting his party in line behind it? Still seems plenty of disagreement.
Well, Senate Republicans are looking to hash things out right now. It's expected that some type of language on this bill and eventually a vote will have to happen on this bill before the end of the month if it is to reach the president's desk by that July 4th deadline that they set for themselves. That passed the House with a narrow majority. It's just a few Republican holdouts, including Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, who could be a problem or detriment to that timeline they have in their minds. Senator Rand Paul has been quite vocal about his reservations about this bill. And in fact, there was a little bit of a tiff with the president that happened over the past 24 hours. Rand Paul going out saying that he believes that he was disinvited from a picnic at the White House because of his opposition to this bill. The president putting out on Truth Social today that he's, of course, invited him and his beautiful wife and family, in President Trump's words, but that he looks forward to having further conversations with him about it, Nancy.
I'm glad they got that cleared up. Taurean, we also heard today from blue state governors about sanctuary cities. Here's what they had to say.
Recently, children, pregnant women, and others fled poverty, violence, and persecution, seeking asylum at our border. Some border state politicians chose to treat them as political pawns, busing them to states like mine and dropping them off in the dead of night in the freezing cold. Illinois chose a different path.
So real quick, Taurean, what were the major takeaways here?
Well, one, I'm looking down because I'm seeing if the hearing has ended. It's still ongoing, I believe. And the biggest thing here is Republicans are looking to make this an issue of Democratic governors looking to impede immigration enforcement operations from the federal government in their states. Democrats, especially the ones on this panel, believe that this is an issue of the federal government overreaching, often invoking what's happening in California as an example of this as well, Nancy.
Taurean Small, thank you very much.